sit back and relax. You're listening to episode 252 of the WealthTech Today podcast. I'm your host, Craig Iskowitz, founder of Ezra Group Consulting, and this podcast features news, information, and updates all around wealth management technology. And this is our August news roundup. I'm pretty excited to jump in. We've got a couple new things for you. We've got our AI Amplified segment of the podcast. We're going to talk about AI. We've got the PE Corner, where we're focusing on PE funding of companies, and then a whole lot more. But first, let me do a couple housekeeping tasks, if you don't mind. Please remember to sign up, subscribe to this podcast wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. And check out our sponsor, the Invest in Others Charitable Foundation at investinothers.org. Okay, let's kick things off with our AI segment, calling it AI Amplified. And in the AI Amplified segment, we're looking at different tools that are announcing AI-powered features or tools that are AI-powered themselves in the news this month. First off, Conquest Planning rolls out enhancements to their AI-powered assistant designed to improve plan quality. Now, Conquest Planning announced Sam Insights and Ask Sam, the latest iterations of their AI-based Strategic Advice Manager, or SAM. Now, Conquest Planning was launched in 2018, and the founder, Mark Evans, had previously founded a company we have all heard of, Naviplan, in the financial planning space. And once they sold that platform, I guess he was itching to get back in the business and launched Conquest Planning in 2018 with a $3 million seed funding round. And they got their first enterprise client, IG Wealth, and they also are based in Canada, IG Wealth, in 2020. They also claim other large clients, including Canada Life and Sun Life. They had their second round of funding in 2021, $7.5 million from Portage Ventures, Fidelity International, and IGM Financial. Now, notably in 2022, BNY Mellon made an equity investment in Conquest and announced that they would be integrated with their new multi-custodial Wove wealth platform. And I saw demos of the new integrations, which look really good to me. Saw them at the Pershing Insight Conference in June. For example, you can launch a new account opening workflow from inside of Conquest. So if you've done your planning, you've built everything out, now you want to open an account, click a button, it switches you over to Wove, then walks you through and brings all the client information, so you keep the context of the client. It just switches to a different tab, and then you can then do the new account opening process. So very nice and smooth for advisors there. But SAM, or Strategic Advice Manager, is their AI-powered, what they're calling an AI assistant. And SAM Insights allows advisors to create plans more efficiently, they claim, while providing deeper plan insights. It also provides warnings when the plans are not on track anymore and prompts advisors to highlight planning opportunities, such as insufficient insurance or other considerations. Ask Sam is the other thing they announced. It's a command and query feature which enables users to navigate the application by asking questions about a plan and searching for information via voice or text. I see that becoming much more useful in the future. We use a number of AI tools. One of ours is we use is called Fathom, and it is a Zoom plugin, and it records and transcribes all of your calls. And we've got over 1,000 calls recorded in Fathom. And what we can do is you go into the call and you can then say, well, summarize this call. So you can do the same thing inside of Conquest Planning by talking about a financial plan. You can also ask questions. So if you have a very long call and you forgot what you spoke about, you can say, well, what did we say about this topic? And you can do the same thing inside a financial plan using the Ask Sam feature. What's going on with the client's educational goals, or what are their travel goals, and it'll tell you. Well, those are very simple examples. You can hopefully use it to deliver more complex queries in the future. I've liked the Conquest Planning UI UX, which is true of all newer applications. Of course, they're going up against a lot of entrenched legacy providers who have to constantly refresh their user interface, whereas Conquest, being built in 2018, It starts with a whole new capabilities, new frameworks, new tools, so they have an advantage there. One thing I like about the Conquest UI is their drag and drop capability, which seems very old school. If you look at the when drag and drop was a cool thing, the everyone was adding it, and now you don't really see it that much. But I liked the way they have it, especially linked to their AI tool, because their AI tool provides next best actions inside of the plan, which most other systems also do in different ways. But I like sort of the interface and how they're showing these pieces of advice, which they're referring to as individual strategies. So you'd be looking at the plan, and they've got the gauges in the top that show present probability of success, which everyone has. But then it shows on the left a list of strategies that they recommend, like increasing contributions or downsizing your home, or even switching from owning to renting, then investing the capital. So all these different strategies, you can then say, I like this strategy. Now I'm going to drag it over to this other part of the screen and drop it into the plan. And then it does that dynamically. It's just a nice, tactile feel that hey, I'm adding this to a plan. So it works kind of well in my opinion. So their AI tool was just announced. You can learn more about it and even see a video demo of some of their platform features at conquestplanning.com. Next up in the AI amplified segment of the news, Morgan Stanley rolls out internal AI meeting tool. So Morgan Stanley has launched what they're calling Debrief, an AI-powered tool that generates notes on a financial advisor's behalf in client meetings, basically a client meeting note tool. And now Morgan Stanley partnered and set up a relationship with OpenAI over a year ago, last year sometime. So that's the underlying LLM of this tool. Now their client meeting tool called Debrief, they claim can spotlight potential actions for advisors and their clients to discuss. According to the announcement, it will act as a note taker, summarizer, and first draft communication composer for client meetings. And the goal is to increase advisors' efficiency and allow them to have more time to engage with clients. We're seeing a lot of expansion in the client note taker space. Now, of course, Morgan Stanley's tool is internal. No one else can buy it unless you have to be a Morgan Stanley advisor to use it. But the client meeting support category on the Keats's Ezra Group Advisor Tech Map has really exploded in the past year. There were only one or two applications in this space for the longest time. It was just Copy Talk and Mobile Assistant were really the only client meeting support tools for a long time. But then more started to come in, and after OpenAI launched ChatGPT, the number of note takers that have launched has sort of overwhelmed us, Michael and I, in this category. It is interesting, and we like more innovation, more ideas, and more ways people can look at the same problem and solve it. So it's just better for the industry in general. So other tools that we like, of course, you can check on my website, ezragroup.com. You can see that I'm an investor in a company called Pulse 360, which was the first meeting note organization tool, automation tool that came out in the client meeting support category, which is now much more crowded. But you can check them at pulse360.com, and they announced an AI tool as well, which is what they're calling their AI writer engine, which gives you a number of capabilities. Of course, you can summarize meetings with it, and you can generate meeting agendas as well as meeting summaries at the end, and sending emails to the client with a list of action items. But some other tools that they've got is it's a very nice workflow and very well designed, since the founder was an advisor, and designed it such that it can save a lot of time when you're preparing for meetings, executing meetings, and doing follow-ups with meetings. It's got deep and powerful integrations into all the major CRM applications. But the AI tool can do your standard things. It can summarize meetings, but you can also ask it questions. You can say, how do I explain what dollar cost averaging is to my client? And it'll come up with a segment on that. You can then quickly copy and paste into an email or a text or something like that. You can explain what portfolio standard deviation is, or really any sort of aspects of financial planning or investing, and it'll do that for you all inside the interface. Now, you could, of course, do this if you switched over into any of the chat bots, ChatGPT or Claude or the other ones. But having it inside of the application that you're working with most of the day anyway, like a Pulse 360, is going to be a lot more convenient. And we're seeing more applications launch these integrated features for just that reason. Why do you want to swap out to a different tab when you can stay inside of the context and get the same functionality? Sometimes even better. So you can check them out at pulse360.com. And in the AI Amplified segment, we have Wealth Tender partners with Hadrius to use AI for scanning questionable testimonials. This new feature from Wealth Tender is powered by a company called Hadrius, and they were scanning online client reviews for potential SEC marketing rule violations. I see compliance as a terrific use case for AI, which has the potential to be much more powerful than the generative AI we were just talking about, because the potential is to save you from FINRA, SEC violations, and fines. And that could be expensive, but also worse than the cost of the fine is the reputational risk of getting a fine because you made a mistake or you put out a fake testimonial. So Wealth Tender is a digital marketing platform which we have categorized in advisor lead gen because their goal is bringing in end investors to their website, attracting them to the website, and then matching them up with advisors in different ways. They claim at Wealth Tender that their website has had 500,000 consumers visit last year alone. So that would be great if they got the data to back that up. And they launched what they claim is the industry's first SEC compliant online reviews platform in 2021. Now, combining that with what Hadrius offers, they are an AI-powered platform focusing on compliance, and in the Kitsis Ezra Group map, they are in the compliance category. Now, they automate tasks, and they claim that you can run your entire compliance program from just one interface. You can handle communication archiving and AI review, reviewing marketing data, code of ethics, and firm oversight. So there's a lot of capabilities, at least what we've seen online. And this is really where the future is going to be. We've going through when you're going through a lot of compliance issues, waiting for the compliance team to review something can often be a pain. And because they're humans, they've got a backlog, and trying to push either marketing or emails or other types of information through compliance can be a pain. If they can automate even 80% of it, you could do the 80-20 rule, where 80% can be quickly reviewed by the AI and said, yes, hey, this is good. And then it'll flag 20% that a human needs to look at. That's going to reduce efforts and time lag to get things out the door, and also greatly increase efficiency of compliance and reduce the number of violations that you are going to get nailed for, because it's going to catch all the easy ones that a human may miss because they maybe get tired, they're not looking right, or they just happen to make a mistake. Hadrius can also do trade monitoring, so looking at employees' brokerage accounts and checking for any clearance if employees are trading, are they front running, things like that. They've got that capability, and attestations and disclosures. They can track political contributions and gifts and update your code of ethics and so forth. So they've partnered with Wealth Tender for this capability, which looks like something that could be quite powerful. So you can check out Wealth Tender at wealthtender.com, and Hadrius is spelled Hadrius.com. And that wraps up the AI amplified segment of the podcast. All right, next up, a company with one of the most marketable names for a wealth tech vendor, and also one of my favorite brand names, Snappy Kraken, announces their official rollout of Snappy Kraken Enterprise, which is a complete marketing technology solution tailored for mid-market and enterprise firms, including large RIAs, broker-dealers, and independent marketing organizations. Now, we all know that all advisory firms and wealth management firms in general need some kind of marketing. no matter what their size, from the very smallest to the very largest. And marketing has changed over the years. My good friend Michael Kitces wrote an article in 2018 breaking down marketing for advisors into three categories: awareness, engagement, and acquisition. Now, awareness is mainly filling the top of the funnel and um, getting these prospective clients just to even know your name, recognize you. And the old school way to do that was TV, radio, billboards, newspaper ads, magazine ads, even physical mail. There's still some firms that send out physical mail. Still works. And that all morphed into the digital landscape. Websites powered by SEO, emails, paid search, and then social media. And it's very complicated to manage all of that. Some advisors are great at it, like Michael Kitces, who's built a media content marketing empire through his original content and research, but not every advisor can do that. They don't have that propensity necessarily to write and create the kind of content or to manage a social media campaign or even to hire a marketing person to do that. So having tools like a Snappy Kraken and some of their competitors that offer capabilities to build awareness, drive engagement, and run acquisitions uh, is important. Now, another great article, which you can find on Keatses.com, talks about return on investment for digital marketing strategies. And when was this article? I think this article was 2021. And the data they showed was that SEO was still had the highest level of digital marketing, rather the highest digital marketing strategy in terms of ROI. That was followed by paid web listings, then online ads, then way down the list is website, then videos and webinars. But I think a lot of it has to do with how you present those, where you're getting the content from, and is it as part of an organized campaign? Now, this was very difficult to do. It's still difficult to do. But when Robert Sophia, the founder of Snappy Kraken, launched the company back in 2016, one of the reasons why was how complicated it was to bring all these different capabilities together and run them in an organized, consistent fashion. If you couldn't afford a team, a chief marketing officer with a lot of experience and then a team to execute. So he built the software around that understanding that you could be able to deliver all these capabilities in one place. Now, they haven't been sitting still up until this point. They've been doing a lot of work at Snappy Kraken. They did some acquisitions. Of course, they've, according to Crunchbase, had almost $10 million in funding from investors like FinTop Capital, Flyover Capital Partners, and Montage Fund Advisors, who was an affiliate of Mariner Wealth Advisors, which is a great partner to have, a great strategic investor to have for any company in our space. One of the acquisitions that Snappy Kraken made back in May of 2022 was buying advisor websites, and that move essentially doubled their staff to more than 100 employees, and their client base was increased to around 6,000 users. And what they had been looking for, and the reason why they merged and acquired that company, was mainly website design, calendar scheduling, and compliance workflow technology tools. And CEO Robert Sophia said that they were a particularly attractive acquisition because of the compliance review tools, which may help with larger enterprise firms. A little bit of foreshadowing there, about 2 years early, but I'm assuming some of those tools were rolled into the new enterprise product. Before we talk details about the enterprise platform, I just wanted to mention that this has been a busy summer for Snappy Kraken. They also unveiled their marketing hub 2 months ago in June. And I was really interested in that and talked to Robert about that one also before it was announced, because it's sort of an integration hub. And we're huge on integrations here at Ezra Group. So I was very interested to hear how they're looking to do that. And Robert has talked about his technology team building out a lot of integrations to other applications that many advisors have to bring all the data into one source and one, I hate this term, the single pane of glass. But there's three areas of that application: the opportunity feed that collects and prioritizes. Boy, I can't talk today. It collects and prioritizes lead activity from a variety of sources, identifying the most engaged prospects with built-in lead scoring. So I saw that as sort of covering aspects of other applications in the digital marketing what we call the prospecting space now on the Keatses Ezra Group Advisor Tech map. We split off firms that were once in digital marketing, like Catchlight and A Identified, that are really more prospecting tools. But apparently, their Snappy Kraken's Marketing Hub also does some of this functionality. Marketing Hub also has a marketing calendar that's available in many marketing platforms, and an insights dashboard, which I thought was the most interesting, which shows which channels are generating the highest engagement and conversion rates. Performance insights and analytics. We love data here. I know most firms do. You're looking for data to measure whether your marketing campaigns are working. And right now, a lot of that's buried in Google Analytics, and it's kind of hard to find the information you want. So they can pull that out into an easy-to-use dashboard. More power to them. Of course, Snappy Kraken is in the digital marketing category on the Keats's Ezra Group WealthTech map, which has now 31 applications. It's a very busy space. And Michael and I always talk about these different categories and how there's more and more overlap between them, such as prospecting was broken out from digital marketing. And there's the paid lead gen section, which is still some sort of marketing, but obviously different. There's lead gen that you generate yourself, organic lead gen, or if you're using a tool like Snappy Kraken to drive leads, or you're paying for leads, so that it's still sort of the same overlap. There's sales enablement, which used to be the proposal generation category, but once Nitrogen Wealth came out with their growth platform, we renamed it sales enablement, and I believe that Snappy Kraken is looking to do some of that as well. Now, they're also not only competing in the advisor space, but also against generic marketing software, of which there is a lot, especially for enterprise firms, looking at platforms like HubSpot, SharpSpring, which is actually what Ezra Group uses, Marketo, Pardo, and then all these marketing clouds. I don't know why they all call them the same names. Marketing clouds, Adobe, Salesforce, Oracle, SAP. So larger enterprises tend to fall back on what they know. So if they've already got Salesforce, it's very easy just to add Salesforce Marketing Cloud, even if it isn't as good, and even if it doesn't do what you really want, you've got to do a lot of customizations for it. Sometimes they just fall back on that. The same as with Oracle and SAP. So these are all firms that Snappy Kraken Enterprise is competing with, as well as on the wealth management specific enterprise side, which would be FMG, formerly FMG Suite, and Broadridge, which has acquired over the years a number of marketing tools that they have put into their suite of advisor marketing software. So what is in Snappy Kraken Enterprise? According to the press release, access to pre-created and advanced custom campaign automation, which sounds like what they normally do anyway, customized and branded control of your content, which they also have, but what they're saying is enterprise level content customization tools, which we need for enterprise clients, including AI-powered image and text editing, which I know they have in the non-enterprise as well, but it's a very cool feature. Deep integrations. This is something enterprises need. API-first platform with real-time bi-directional integrations, also good for your Ezra Group WealthTech integration score. The campaign orchestration, which is a huge boon, especially for enterprise firms where you've got hundreds or thousands of advisors who you want them all to operate their marketing campaigns in the same standardized fashion. You can push this out with a tool like Snappy Kraken. A data insights layer to feed other systems or to pull data in. Client engagement tools. Here's where I think they're getting more into the nurturing aspect of the funnel. So I see Snappy Kraken becoming more of a sales enablement / digital marketing tool. It's just a natural progression, I think, in my mind. And then finally, compliance management, as we mentioned, from that acquisition of advisor websites, they now will have some cool marketing cool compliance tools to meet FINRA and SEC regulations. Now, while this new competitor makes life a little more difficult for FMG and Broadridge, it's a boon for broker-dealer enterprise RIAs, like the ones we work with at Ezra Group, since more choice is usually a good thing. And competition generally drives more innovation and lowers costs. If you're interested in an in-depth analysis of marketing trends, I would check out Snappy Kraken's recent State of Digital report, which identifies common challenges advisors face when developing their marketing campaigns. It's a cool report. You can get it on their website, which you can find at snappykraken.com. Let me just take a quick break to talk about tech stacks. Now, as a group, we've seen tech stacks of literally hundreds of RIAs and broker dealers. Let me tell you, most of them are loaded down with tech debt. Let's face it, tech debt acts like an anchor, holding down your firm's efficiency and ability to scale. If you want to free up your firm for exponential growth, you need to run, not walk, to our website, ezragroup.com, and click on the golden Contact Us button on the homepage. The experienced team at Ezra Group can evaluate your current tech ecosystem, deliver targeted recommendations, optimize your existing systems and operations, or even run an RFP and help you implement new software to get your firm to the next level. Now, you can take advantage of our free consultation offer by going to ezragroup.com. Next up is a little segment I'm calling the Private Equity Corner. I'm going to review some PE deals that came out recently. And this has been a pretty good year for private equity in wealth tech and wealth management. PE firm GTCR took AssetMark private in a $2.7 billion deal a few months ago. Altruist raised $169 million in May, led by Iconic Growth, at a $1.5 billion valuation, mind you. And the biggest deal this year was Envestnet being taken private by a consortium led by Bain Capital in a $4.5 billion deal just last month. But here's some new private equity news that has just come out. First up is GeoWealth, raises $18 million from BlackRock. GeoWealth is a TAMP and technology platform, and they will use the funding to support continued development of their offering. It's always a good thing. We like growth capital rather than take money off the board capital, where they're using the money to build their platform better. So the firms back in this is Kanye Anderson Growth Capital, as well as they led GeoWealth's Series B funding in 2021, and also JP Morgan Asset Management participated as well as BlackRock. So GeoWealth platforms are pretty well. As of the end of last year, they have over 28 billion in assets on the platform, more than 180,000 accounts, and nearly 200 RIAs are using their platform. We've been following GeoWealth for a long time. I think since they first came out, if I was looking at my notes, when the first time I met the guys from GeoWealth, it was quite some time ago. I think it was like 2018, and it's no 2017. 2017 is when I first saw the platform, and it was I was impressed with what they had built. It was very light back then. I was really concerned, could they continue, because it's not an easy lift. We have built these platforms before from scratch, and doing that is not easy to do. Fortunately, they had some good funding, some good backers at the time. I think it was a family office that was funding them. And since then, they've really grown into a complete full platform with their own rebalancer, their own onboarding. Of course, they're a TAMP as well. So it's a full feature platform that has gotten a lot of traction, and we're happy to see them with their funding. Next PE deal is a larger one with a larger company. DocuPace gets strategic majority investment from Genstar Capital. Now, this significant investment makes Genstar the majority investor. DocuPace had previously been acquired by FTV Capital back in 2020, and they're going to remain a minority investor. And what was interesting at the time was that FTV had also invested in Financial Engines, Nitrogen Wealth, which was Riskalyze back then, and others. There was no amount listed on this funding announcement. And coincidentally, there was no amount listed in the 2020 announcement when FTV Capital bought them. So they're keeping that quiet. Genstar also has investments in other firms, including broker-dealer Cetera Financial, high net worth RIA Cerity Partners, and enterprise or nationwide RIA Mercer Advisors. Oh, and of course, Orion, wealth tech platform Orion. So an interesting portfolio with Genstar. What will they do with DocuPace? And I think a couple of these firms already. I think Cetera is already a DocuPace client, if I'm not mistaken. So of course they would pitch them to their other clients as well. And who knows, maybe there could be some deal with Orion, since they're both now owned majority by the same company. The DocuPace has grown into a leading platform for wealth management back office operations. They focus mainly on client onboarding with a strong workflow engine and document management capabilities. Now, since 2020, when they were acquired by FTV, They made two acquisitions, one a small one, a company called Giacomo that does compliance software and data analytics. And then a much bigger acquisition in terms of market share. They acquired the leading provider of client data gathering, which is Precise FP. Thought that it was a pretty big move for them. Got them a lot of RIA clients and a good foothold in the space. And Precise FP's got some, great software there. They're quietly one of the leading providers of software to RIAs. Now, DocuBase had a very long track record of sales in the broker-dealer space for the last 20 years. And, DocuBase has been around for quite some time. And in 2022, they launched an RIA productivity suite, which is basically taking all the good stuff that they had built at broker-dealers, new account opening, robust workflow engine, straight through processing, a great forms library. They've got forms for every custodian, every possible account type you could want, CRM integration, and they put that into an RIA platform, an RIA chassis. And if you look at the news, the press release, they were nice enough to announce that their strategy in the RIA space was facilitated by Ezra Group. So we were happy to help them with that product strategy. DocuBase has got in the integration, WealthTech integration score an 8.73 in the workflow support category. But of course, they have a number of other secondary subcategories, including document management, digital onboarding, compliance, and client data gathering. You can find out more about them at docupace.com. Wrapping up the PE corner, Vanilla closes new funding round to accelerate adoption of estate planning in wealth management. Vanilla, which is a software company that provides estate planning, announced strategic fundraising led by returning investor Insight Partners, in addition to contributors from Venrock, Vanguard, and other previous investors, including Edward Jones Ventures. Vanilla was founded in 2019 by entrepreneur Steve Lokshin, and they've raised more than $66 million to date. Besides the investors we just mentioned, some significant individual investors include NBA legend Michael Jordan and former Vanguard Group CEO Bill McNabb. Vanilla has announced they have over 10,000 end clients on their platform, which span a wide range of assets from $1 million over to $1 billion in net worth. Now, they didn't announce how many advisors are using the platform or the number of advisory firms, so I've sent them an email to see if I can get that information. They do have a wide range of firms on the platform, including small RIAs, as well as very, very large ones, including Mariner Wealth Advisors, Ballantine, and Avantax. One of the things I like about, I saw a demo of Vanilla just a couple months ago. I really like their visualization of estate plans. I thought some of the graphics they have and how they enable visualization of different plans, different ways of looking at the plans, really helpful, including beneficiaries, fiduciaries. There's a waterfall that shows whatever assets are being transferred in the inheritance, how that would move through the family, depending on who gets what. Of course, milestones and whatever records and reporting you can get. So pretty cool. You should check them out. Take a demo if you get some time. And they also launched an on-demand trust and estate document offering, which seems to be targeted straight at trust and will. So clearly they see the need for not just software, but some services as well. You can check them out at justvanilla.com. And that wraps up the PE Corner section of the news. And now we're up to the point in the news where it's my favorite segment. It is the Advisor Tech Map updates. So these are products and applications that were added to the Keatsis Ezra Group Advisor Tech Map this month. Michael Keatsis and I meet every month to go over applications, programs that want to be added to the map. We also do some housekeeping in the map, tweaking the categories, moving some things around, trying to make it more functional and useful. So there's a couple of applications that were added this month. I'm going to go through them. First one is MoneyTree Merit. Now, this comes from our old friends at MoneyTree, financial planning application, and it is a sales enablement tool. You can find it at moneytree.com, and this application is supposed to build confidence and improve decision-making capabilities using MoneyTree's portfolio visualization and analytics tool. So we put this into the sales enablement category because it allows capabilities that we feel, it seems like they're positioning it that way, that it's going to help clients become more comfortable with your with an advisor's services, and in effect, you can use it for prospects to then help them understand, here's the way we do things, here's how we handle our financial planning, and that's why you want to work with us. So I'm not sure if you have to be a MoneyTree client to use MoneyTree Merit, but you can check it out at moneytree.com. Next up is Reply Assist, and the website is reply, R-E-P-L-Y, assist, ASSIST.com. And this application is in the prospecting category, and they are focused on LinkedIn lead generation. So it's a very interesting niche that they believe using their tool can help advisors generate prospects from LinkedIn. Now they say it's simple, it's compliance minded, it's personalized, saves you time, yada yada, all that good stuff. But again, I can't verify or validate, but it just seemed to be an interesting tool set focusing just on LinkedIn. They have quarterly, semi-annual, and annual payment plans. And of course, they've got um, some data that shows that, of course, doing it manually, as most people do on LinkedIn, going through and finding prospects to contact manually, is one way to do it. But they believe that they've got an automated process that can find prospective clients, send them LinkedIn invitations, and then monitor and manage that throughout your marketing campaigns. So you can check them out at replyassist.com. Next up is Moonin, Munin AI.com. Moonin AI. We have them listed under a new category we added a couple months ago called AI assistance. And it's an interesting category because, as we mentioned earlier in our AI segment of the podcast, there's so many more AI tools. There's so many tools adding AI features. What does it mean to be an AI assistant? That's something Michael and I struggle with to which ones we put in there, which ones we put in, into the meeting category, because those meeting tools, like a Pulse 360 or some of the other ones like a Zeppelin, have added more AI features, and they are assistants in a way. But we've limited the AI assistant tools to just sort of generic applications that aren't focused in any one segment, just generic AI support. So Moonin falls into that category, and they promote their ability to enhance AI applications like meeting assistants. They can augment workflows, and they can orchestrate your AI by connecting data with your LLM models in a secure environment. I'm not sure how an advisor would do that. I haven't seen a demo of this product yet, and that could be kind of complicated. So I really would want to see a very simplified, easy button use case for this kind of application, if it could actually work the way they said it works. One thing I always talk about is we need to do more, maybe a little bit more due diligence on applications before they get added to the map. Right now, you've got a website and you've got a product and you've got a price, we're probably going to add you to the map. But doing due diligence on the products to verify that they can do what they say they can do is a huge effort. But it might be something we should look into in the future. But I'm expecting more of these AI tools to come out that have different capabilities, different abilities to automate, even connect other applications. There's just so many different niches you can fill the space with. So mooninai.com. And the last of 4 applications added this month. The last one, a little hard to say, Sympaltax. Sympaltax. Another thing that drives me crazy is names of companies. Sympaltax, really? Sympaltax. You got to think about marketing, guys. If you're going to be out there, run your name by somebody. Sympaltax. We have them in specialized planning tax, which obviously makes sense. And they offer tax capabilities like running tax cost, tax benefit analysis, running tax impact analysis, widow and beneficiary taxes, and tax transparency. So this is a software solution where you load client data, it generates a report, then you can use that to engage your clients. Again, I'm not sure of the power of SimPal Tax, or what it can and can't do for you. It's got some reasonable pricing. It could be a little pricey, $120 a month per user, depending on the value from that. It could be good, maybe not. But check them out at SimPal Tax, SYM, not SIM, PAL, PAL, tax.com. All right, that's it. You've reached the end of another episode of the WealthTech Today podcast. Please go to our website, EzraGroup.com. Scroll to the bottom of the homepage. Smash that button to subscribe to our newsletter. Once a month, you'll receive an email chock full of wealth management goodness, news, updates, information. You won't be disappointed. So thanks for listening, and talk to you all again next time.